show.
Yeah.
Because you know how these things work. I mean, they wait. Even if you were in cult in school and you tell them, look, I'm no more, they look at your ways. They study you for a long while before they can truly say, okay, that seems to be the case.
Well, looking at his approach, as an observer and somebody who's interested in Niger Delta politics, and my team, we're out for peace and development. You appreciate that he's basically concerned about the 2 R's, rehabilitation and reintegration. You understand? Somehow people liken this to amnesty and consider that you have demobilization and de-armament, or disarmament, sorry. Now, if you take on this aspect of rehabilitation and reintegration, which he's doing right now, it will be evident that in no short time, there will be political stability in the state and there will be economic vibrancy. Because this group of people, like I said, they don't have any sense of self-empowerment. Most of them lack the skill to be self-employed. Most of them are not educated as such, not just going to the 4 walls now, but they're not educated enough to decide for themselves. They are lured into this because of the luxuries of what their masters. So a lot of them are even, I wouldn't use the word hypnotized, but a lot of them are misdirected. They are misguided by their leaders.
Allow me to come in here, because those of us who have the privilege to have schooled in Nigeria will realize it's not about being jobless or being idle. That is why, for instance, you look at what is happening in Benin, and well, it's rising. Once upon a time, for those who get hit, lived within the university campus. But from the stories we're getting, a whole lot of people that have been killed were casualties outside the university campuses. So it means it's not about an idle mind somewhere, but someone that ordinarily should be in the classrooms studying. How can we reverse the trend? That's the whole essence of this talk today. How can we tell them that truly this is bad? Because renunciation has always been. I was in school and we had a very big talk about renunciation, and today we're still talking about renunciation. So how can we ask them to truly renounce and you stay out of trouble?
It's simple. Taking a clue from what Governor Dickson has done is a step in the right direction. Because as much as these people, you might consider them not to be idle enough, but if you look at the aggregates of their components, they're idle persons. Is it to be idle?
Even as a student?
Even as a student, because one, you agree that sometimes the excess of supremacy, power tussle, sometimes over mundane things like a girlfriend, and he's not man enough to woo a girl. He now wants to have security protection in a group of persons so that they can demonstrate their supremacy over other group. And some of them emerge as a result of defense, self-fight back. You have maybe the Icelander, for instance, are taking over and they're acting so much. Then you have a Digbam now coming up to say, look, these guys are, terrorizing us so much that they're even coming to our territory. They've even been able to divide the geopolitics to a point that social territory belongs to social person. You don't come there. You have the warlords there. You have the cultist kingpin there. How be it, if we can take a clue from what Governor Dickson has done, and every other government in Nigeria, mostly Niger Delta, key in, they can reform from where he started. These persons will, over time, because I'm an apostle of, faith coming by hearing and hearing over and over again. You cannot be tired of instructing your child on what is right. So if these people are part of us and they are stakeholders in society, because no child is an accidental birth, we must give them a chance.
How do we give them that chance? If we put in place proper structure?
Yeah, by integrating them back.
Has to be conducive.
Yeah, obviously, because what make them very unconducive? It's the same people. Simply reasons are that they don't see themselves as stakeholders. Most of them see themselves as the drudge of society. They are not, wanted any longer, because after using them to achieve the political goal of whoever is their principal, they are dumped. And sometimes they go hunting, even the hunter.
The question now is, what makes cultism so attractive? It would seem that it's a problem that is rampant or rife in the Niger Delta. Why do you think that cultists or cults are strong in the Niger Delta, and why is it so attractive?
I wouldn't say it's so attractive, But again, looking at the number of persons that just renounce their position is quite alarming, because BAyelsa have probably an average population of over 2 million, and you have a 10,000 youths giving, my friends are giving their life to Christ, which is obvious. Like I said, most of them are misguided. A lot of them have lost faith in themselves. Some, permit me to say, are from dysfunctional homes. And again, I don't know the statistics, but anthropologists or some other people are telling us that in the Nigerian Delta, you have so many of these dysfunctional homes. And these kids come up without having a role model. They see a local champion who is maybe a browse in the neighborhood, who has everything going for him. He's got some little money to play with, and is relating, interfacing with the people that matters. They see themselves afterwards as, policy deciders in a system where they can afford to make somebody become a local government chairman, for instance. They will ask, oh, so we are this important. They now negotiate. They haven't budgeted in some states. They are settled over time. But Dickson has come up with anti-corruption law, which, is quite explicit. It gives them even a window to say, if you denounce your membership, we will reincorporate you into the system. We are going to empower you.
The reason I asked that question is to see if we can get what makes cultism so attractive, maybe we can also make it less attractive, and people can see that this is really not the way to go.
As long as there's political struggle, as long as there are a lot of social norms that are not, accommodating every other person. A common traditional stew, for instance, can generate cultism in some quarters. Because over time, some family will have possibly been the, hereditary leaders of their society. This is their birthright. And some other families will have emerged through economic empowerment. They want to commemorate their economic strength for political muscle. And they want to change that order in the system. What do? They cannot appropriate it, they cannot appropriate their position going through the legal customary form. They begin to recruit so they can use the militancy.
You know what
So cultists, Sulaiman. So cultists thrive on political patronage.
Majorly. Because most of these people have the patronage of political leadership in Nigeria.
From your analysis, it would appear that what you have tried to analyze with the BAyelsa example is quite different from what obtains in schools. Perhaps maybe there's a difference between school cultism and maybe cultism in the community.
Well, it started from somewhere. The school, most of us who went to Nigerian University know that we had groups like the Sea Dogs, the Power and Drinkers Club. They all function in their own rights. We didn't see much of this mayhem that we're seeing today. But somewhere along the line, as society, transits, people hijack this group of people and take advantage of them and begin to function in different lights. Because especially if you look at all that has to do with criminality, it's embedded in cultism. They champion kidnapping, robbery, rape, every other vices that society will denounce is in that group.
So if you were to help out, what would you be suggesting we do?
Obviously, I want to beg every other person in leadership position to emulate Governor Dickson. He's done quite well. I'm not a mouthpiece of the government of BAyelsa State, but looking at what he's come up with I saw Chamberlain saying, are they in court? Are they in church? For such people for him to have data collection, bringing them out from their, crannies and to come out to say, we are no more doing this publicly. It goes to show the level of consultation and the depth of understanding of his terrain. Most of these governors are aloof. They rather use them against their...
Some will say not necessarily. There could be different reasons why that will happen.
Well, I still sincerely think that whatever the reasons are, we're trying to see how we can stamp out cultism in society. So let's look at the most practicable medium. Not the one that you probably enrich them. Make them... Because sometimes I wonder if a group of people decide to take the laws into their hand and you compensate them by...
So is the same thing can the same thing be said for those confraternities in schools?
Those in school, they have lost focus as well. Earliest time, they were just like a lobby, a pressure group.